Hello everyone, and welcome to our game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from vipersocks, and he is in the Fujin, the tier 5 premium Japanese destroyer. He is on the map straight, and it's a standard battle. Now it's tier 5, so that's awesome. He is top tier, he's in a very strong ship. There are two carriers though, which is not so nice. Carriers can be a really big pain for a destroyer. And actually there is one carrier who spotted him here, so he deployed his smoke screen. And now he is sitting in here. There is an air battle raging over his head and he is kinda stuck. Because as soon as he leaves, he's going to get spotted, and there are some cruisers who might just be waiting for exactly that to happen. Unfortunately, he has this island here, so he can be safe from torpedoes that are obviously going to be fired into the smoke screen. Now, generally speaking, he's spawned here in the south part, so the teams are kind of divided here. You have a more defensive force at your base, and then a more offensive force who can try to take the enemy base. And, well, I'm not sure what the best tactic is. You can, like, take your force in the south and take them north to be a more defensive, or you can push aggressive. You definitely always have to watch what the enemy is doing and react accordingly. Now vipersocks here went to scout out the middle because the other destroyer went into the far south, so there was no point probably going there as well. Now they had a third destroyer, which is already at the bottom of the ocean, unfortunately. So right now the friendly team is 2 ships behind, and Viper's torpedoes have not found their mark yet. But he's going to try again, and he's getting out of this position. Now he obviously can't go further into this center. The enemy Fujin is here as well, so he has to go and take safe way. Now generally speaking, it's a good question what he wants to do now. There seems to be some kind of push happening here in the north, so if he can get around here and maybe ambush this Kirov, that might work. And, oh! Well, so much for that Kirov. So, nicely done. Now he can help up here, up in the north, defend his cap. I mean, there are some ships around. And this Omaha is hopefully waiting with his torpedoes to just ambush, like, the enemy Omaha and that Voisky, but we will see how this battle turns out. Now there is still a large enemy force here. Friendlies are being quite aggressive, but there is still a destroyer around. Now would be nice if the destroyer would be a little bit more in the front and maybe provide some screening against the enemy Isokaze. But Viper decides that he is going to help the side that doesn't have a destroyer right now, which is probably a good choice. And down goes the friendly Omaha and the Wyoming. So that's bad. Now the friendly push here in the south is not looking too good. I mean, they have 3 ships against... I mean, we don't know where those Wyomings went. But there's potentially a large force here. And those 3 ships are probably pretty doomed. Meanwhile, Viper has found himself an Omaha. Torpedoes are on the way. Now, one good thing about the Fujin is that torpedoes reload really quickly. So, I mean, by the time he gets around here and might engage the Omaha again, torpedoes are almost ready. And, well, doesn't really matter. Now there is still a destroyer around, so he's probably going to scout it. The Fujin has an amazing concealment of 5.4 kilometers with concealment expert. Now there are 2 battleships here, and the Podvoisky is gunboat, the Fujin is not. So he's kind of relying on those battleships to help him if it comes to a gunfight. He's launching his torpedoes here because, well, that's his strength. And now he's opening up with guns because why not? He isn't getting away here anyway. But if he wants to win this battle, he really is relying on those 2 battleships. And I'm not so sure what they are going to do. Now he's lying a smoke screen here because he isn't certain that he'll get help, and looks like he did get help, so that's great. Also the turret traverse of the Fujin is pretty bad. Now overall this battle is looking horrible because the friendly team has lost so many ships. The friendly carrier, I mean, he should have gone north a long time ago, I feel like. But right now he is cornered here. Fujin is coming for him, there's nothing he can do. There is a lone friendly cruiser here that's probably shotted by 3 battleships. So yeah. Now Viper is deciding here to go for some torpedoes against the Podvoisky. I mean, it would be very helpful. He could have also gone for the Kaiser. I feel like going for the Kaiser might have been a better strategy. I think he's much more likely to land torpedoes on the battleship. Then again, I mean, sinking the destroyer would probably be more helpful. And that Kaiser is getting somewhat low on hit points. Maybe the friendly battleships can do this. But we will find out. Now torpedoes are almost ready again. And it looks like the enemy destroyer did not actually charge back in here just yet. Now he decides to get some torps off for the Kaiser. I think that Orion should be fine. And this Kaiser is probably going down anyway. So, meanwhile the destroyer is back and he is going carrier hunting. Now the friendly team only has 4 ships left. And that's a bit of a problem. But they should be able to deal with this destroyer. Unfortunately, there is also quite a big airstrike incoming. And like low tier battleships, I mean low tier ships in general, they don't really have much anti-air going on. While the carriers can only automatically drop. There is no manual drop at lower tiers. It's just like those battleships, they can't dodge anything, right? A carrier just needs to come in from the side, click, and what's the battleship going to do? He's not going to shoot down any planes. And his ship is probably too, well, not maneuverable enough to dodge anything. So it's 3 against 6. If each of those ships sinks 2 ships, they are fine. I guess we will see how that turns out. Now there are 2 enemy destroyers remaining. They are probably coming in here through this gap. And I'm assuming that's where RPF is pointing. Now there are 2 Wyomings. We kind of know where one of them is. Not sure what the other one is up to. I would assume that he might be going here through the middle straight for the cap. But it's also possible that he's going here north. Now the carrier can potentially also provide some scouting, but I guess he is just being farmed by the 2 enemy carriers. I don't think there is much the friendly carrier can do against that. Now you see the anti-air here is jimming in, but anti-air from low tier ships just is not really all that impressive. So friendly team is desperately trying to save the planes of the carrier. But this strike craft is going down. So the friendly carrier won't be able to do much because the enemy carriers are paying attention with their planes, which means it's kind of only 2 ships here that can fight back. And well, Viper's going for the Wyoming. Now even worse than that, the enemy carrier can just park planes here and keep him perma-spotted. Right now there is nothing that can help him. Now if the enemy carriers were any good, they'd just keep Viper spotted for the rest of the battle. And well, I mean, he is detected right now, so they moved away. Meanwhile, enemy destroyer coming for the Langley. But Viper is in a good position to sink this Wyoming. I mean, the Wyoming is at full health, but it doesn't really matter against the torpedoes. Just need to hit a few more. Of course, at those ranges, the Wyoming could basically one-shot the Fujin if he gets lucky. But it looks like he isn't even trying. So torps are in the water, but also torpedoes are almost reloaded again. So once he comes around this island, he can almost try again. And the Wyoming is still not interested in actually shooting him. Currents don't seem to be turning this way either, so he has all the time in the world here. Get some more torpedoes off. And this Wyoming is probably going down. Meanwhile, enemy carrier is farming the König. Friendly carrier went down as expected. There you go. Now, I'm still not sure why the enemy carriers aren't just keeping Viper spotted. But hey, it's a good thing for Viper. So, König is still floating, it looks like, but even moderately healthy. But well, there is the Fujin here, and there is somebody capping, so yes, there is an Isokase here as well. So the König is being hunted by 2 destroyers. Let's speed this party up a little bit while Viper is going towards the cap in order to defend and hopefully help the König. Now it's vital that the König dodges torpedoes. I mean, sooner or later the carrier will come and strike him again, but if he can stay long enough to actually help when Viper spots a destroyer, which is happening right now, then this would be amazing. So there is the Isokase, let's hope the König is helping. And Viper's going for some torpedoes here. I mean, as I said, those torpedoes reload rather quickly. He could have held one launcher back, tried to get a little bit closer, but of course he is risking himself. Oh, look at that, the König just got taken down, so, well, Viper is on his own. But he unleashed the Kraken. Now he only has to sink 4 more ships and is good to go. So here comes an airstrike. Well, at least the carriers have to automatically drop, they can't manually drop, so it makes it a bit easier to dodge. Unfortunately, there is a Fujin as well. And that Fujin is a lot more, well, not a lot more healthy, but he is more healthy than Viper. So he has to fight an enemy with more hit points, which is basically the same ship, while also dodging the carrier drops. Not really the best situation to be in, I suppose. And oh, did he turn too much here? No, I think he can turn. So it looks like he dodged, but he's getting pummeled by guns. Well, his torpedoes found his mark, so that's a good thing. Now, he could have used his guns a little bit more, but he was mostly focused on dodging those torpedoes, I think. So yeah, he's up to 6 kills now, 3 remaining. Unfortunately, he's almost out of health, and it looks like this time the carrier might just be spotting him. He is also pretty much out of consumables. Now he deployed a smoke screen here. That turns out not to be very helpful. He probably wanted to use it to hide from the planes while hoping to hit the Fujin or something, but at this point, I mean, he's also fighting against the time. There are only 4 minutes left. And oh, look at that, the carrier screwed up a drop. Now this island is helping immensely. Now in 4 minutes he has to sink 3 ships. That's basically his... Well, I mean, I don't know if he went full speed at the cap. I don't think he'd manage to get in there and cap in this time, even if the enemies wouldn't try to stop him. So... well... at least dodged it, and he found a carrier. So that's a start. And look at that, he also found a Wyoming. Turns out that the Wyoming is very, very close. Fortunately, he kind of missed with his first salvo. Now the accuracy of low-tier battleships is horrible. So it's possible the Wyoming just got very unlucky. Torpedoes are on the way, and Viper's down to 600 hit points. But there is 2 hits, and I think there are going to be some more. So, okay, 2 enemies left. And about 3 minutes. Now the planes are getting ready again. He's down to 600 hit points. If like 1 dive bomber, 1 torpedo, 1 anything is enough. And he's keeping an eye out for those planes. So, meanwhile he's also getting some torpedoes off against one carrier here. Dive bombers missed, torpedo bomber drops, and I think he'll make it. Yeah, that looks nicely done. Meanwhile, his own torpedoes, they are going to hit, I think. Oh, only 1. So they are almost reloaded though, and this time he is even closer, so next salvo of torpedoes is in the water. Now the really big problem is there is 1 minute 40 left, so after he sinks this carrier, he still has to sink the last carrier. Now it remains to be seen how close that last carrier is, if he can reach it. There isn't enough time to win by captain. And now that this guy is gone, we see RPF pointing this way. So that carrier is on the other side of this island. And we don't know how far. Now what he could do is he could try to turn around, I guess, and move over here, or he could move over here, but you know, it's 1 minute remaining. And it's not like the enemy carrier will explode once he gets spotted. He then needs to launch his torpedoes, and this is not going to happen. This is just not going to happen, right? I mean, he's just sitting now in this space and enjoying his 8 kills, I suppose, because there is absolutely nothing he can do to still win this. So let's speed up those final moments while he is dodging maybe the last airstrike. And here we are with the results. vipersocks earned himself 1693 base experience, and he lost this battle, and he made over 300 experience more than the best player on the winning team. So that probably was frustrating. vipersocks earned himself 3 devastating strikes, a Confederate, a Kraken and a high caliber, scoring 171,000 points of damage, sinking 8 enemies and even scoring a citadel, because why not? And it just was not enough to get a win. But he had an amazing battle. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys next time.